More injuries to the Dodgers starting rotation. What will the Dodgers do about Tyler Glasnow? How serious is it? When can we expect him back? Will the Dodgers go out there and possibly make a trade if they have multiple injuries to their starting rotation? We'll talk about that. Also, we got 10 big takeaways on the week that was for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Andy Pages is the hottest hitter on the Dodgers, one of the hottest hitters in baseball. All that more coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Roy, parade. We got it, parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series.
Ohtani starts the 50-50 clock. Monkey magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. Everything you need to know about your boys in blue in less than an hour. My name is Doug McKain, credential member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you haven't yet, do me a huge favor. Subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Drop your comments. Hit the notification bell. Also, join our new Discord channel. I've been going to Discord more. I just changed my profile pic to me eating the glizzy. You saw that, me eating the hot dog. That's my profile pic. Have a lot of fun over on Dodger Nation Discord. You can talk to Noel in there. Producer Noel, rock with us as always. Exclusive merch, behind the scenes content, interviews. So definitely join that. And also The Big Lead. That's my new show talking about all the hottest stories in the world of sports. So definitely head over to The Big Lead. But of course, every episode we start with the Dodgers Nation poll question of the show. I asked you guys over on the X, how concerned are you about the Dodgers' injuries to the rotation? Right now, 43% of you say 43% of you say very little, say very concerned, 29% say a little concerned, 24% say somewhat, and 4% say not concerned at all. So 43% of you are concerned, 29% are a little concerned, somewhat concerned as 24%. So pretty much everyone's concerned to a degree. There's not a lot of Dodgers fans out there that's saying, oh, this is okay. We're totally fine with Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow being injured. So that says a lot about how we feel about the current state of this rotation. But lots to get into here on this jam-packed episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. Drop your comments down below. Any questions that you have, we'll feature those in the 7th inning stretch later. We got our guy, Noise by Noel Sanchez. He was at the game yesterday. So definitely he'll be looking for all of your comments. What was the game like yesterday, Noel? I mean, Sunday game, you were there with your pops. How much you enjoyed that Dodgers win?
Yeah, it was a really good time, man. Shout out my dad for taking me. He got some good tickets from work in the Loge. Got to meet a couple of you guys too, big fans of the show. But just overall, really good that those first couple innings, Dodgers came out hot and just kept going from there. It was unfortunate to see Glasnow go down. I saw him walking off the mound in the second inning and just got really scared for him. Hopefully he gets healthy because he's been through a lot. But good times, man. Nothing like Sunday baseball.
Absolutely. I love Sundays at the Ravine. But that is where we're going to start here with the leadoff.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So the hottest story in Dodger baseball right now is unfortunately another injury to a starting pitcher. We saw Blake Snell go down dealing with shoulder inflammation. He had another MRI, nothing worse. They said they dodged the bullet, but looks like it's going to be a while before we see him back on the mound. And then yesterday, Tyler Glasnow goes out there. He pitches 1 inning, gives up 2 solo home runs, one to McCutchen, one to Valdez. And then the next inning, he's warming up, and then he starts to look uncomfortable. And then Dave Roberts comes out, takes the ball, and Glasnow throws just 17 pitches, and his day was done. You see here, this is Tyler Glasnow looking uncomfortable. The mechanics not completely in sync. The velocity was down. He looks frustrated. You got the trainer going out there. Anytime you see that, that's a bad sign. You don't want to see that ever. Anytime you see Thomas Albert, Dodgers trainer out there with Dave Roberts, it's not a good sign. He threw 17 pitches, gave those 2 home runs. And then you rewind a little bit. The last time we saw him on the mound was against the Rangers in Texas, and he left the game there in the 5th inning due to those lower leg cramps. So the first thing I was thinking was like, oh, just drink pickle juice, get the Gatorade going, drink some water. It's probably the leg cramps once again. But the way he was kind of moving his arm around, clearly it was more upper body. It was focused on the arm, and that was the big issue. And he even said that he had hydrate, he had an IV the day before, so it didn't look like it was going to be that. But he gets out of the game, and really, from a timetable standpoint, we don't know when he's going to be back. But before we get into that, just you got to feel for Tyler Glasnow, the pitcher and the person. This is someone that wants to be out there worse than you do, right? He wants to be out there more than any fan wants him to be out there, right? He does not want to be injured. People always kind of attack and Tyler Glass arm and this and that. And this kind of stuff is what you hate to see. When a guy that is this talented, when he's 100% healthy, his stuff is as good as anyone's in the sport. He has Cy Young level stuff. Unfortunately, best ability is your availability, right? Health is wealth. To be a pitcher, you expect a certain level of injuries. But with Tyler Glasnow, he has never pitched more than 134 innings in a season. He has never made more than 22 starts. Right now, unfortunately for him, his reputation as a pitcher that spends a lot of time on the injured list, unfortunately, he has not been able to shake that reputation so far with the Dodgers. But you can hear the frustration in his voice. You can see it in his eyes, how disappointing, how maddening this is to him, because no one works harder. No one has researched more ways to get out there and stay on the mound. Dave Roberts was asked about the decision to go to a different type of delivery to try to help things to make him stay on the mound, right? To avoid the IL. And heading into the season, he did make those adjustments to his throwing mechanics. It was about improving the spine angle to prevent his arm from dragging behind his delivery. And what that has done is possibly led to another problem that's leading to another type of injury. So you hate to see that, but here was Tyler Glasnow after the game talking about just the frustration and why he exited the game after throwing just one inning.
Yeah, just frustrated, I guess. It's just at extension trying to throw, something grabbed. I think just making a lot of changes, trying to figure out a way to stay healthy. I think some of the changes have led to other things kind of taking over, and I'm just at this point, I'm just trying to figure out what to do, and it's just extremely frustrating. Yeah. I'm not sure yet. I think we're just going to try and figure it out, give it a couple days and see what it is, but I haven't really talked to them about a plan yet. It kind of comes and goes, and I think, like I said, just some of the adjustments I've made prior, I think like I'll feel something that maybe changed something else in my mechanics, and it just seems like nothing has really been connected, but it was mostly warming up for that second inning.
So it's really a vicious cycle for him. It is a game of whack-a-mole, right? He knocks one down, something else pops up. And this other thing is the shoulder. But here's him talking about how the mechanics and the adjustments have played a role into leading to another injury that unfortunately looks like it's going to have him out for whether it be a small amount of time, an extended period of time, we don't know yet. But I highly doubt that he'll be making his next start.
Mechanical stuff, like anytime you change something I've done for a long time to try to prevent an injury, I think it's just other things are taking over. There's more stress on other parts, and I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. It had been a little thing before, and it kind of had gone away, and I think making like subconscious changes over time, and it just for some reason today, all of a sudden in that second inning, like going out and trying to throw that warm up. I just think like maybe prior to that too, a few of the games just being a little hesitant, and then I don't know, all of a sudden in the second inning, it like really I started to feel it. It's just been a thing. I think like with changing stuff, I think it's been hard for me to find like a footing, and then if every time it's a little bit different, there's more stress on one part, and then I compensate doing something else, and like I don't even know what it is or what's going on. I'm just trying to figure out like why it is that something new seems to be happening.
So there's the phrase out of the frying pan into the fryer, right? Hopefully this is not what this is. Hopefully this is not a worse type of injury than what he's already dealt with, which he has had the brace surgery after the Tommy John a couple years ago after the league came out and they banned all the sticky stuff. He talked about not having the sunscreen in rosin and not having the proper grip on the baseball. And that is what led to a forearm strain, which ultimately led to him having another surgery. So that definitely is the concern right now in Dodgers land, is the health of the starting pitcher, particularly Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell. But you can also hear from Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts, his job in all this is to manage a rotation, manage a bullpen. In the last couple starts for Tyler Glasnow, you just look at him not being able to rely on him. And is that a fault of his own? I don't think so. But goes 1 inning against the Pirates. Before that, 4 innings against the Rangers before the cramps. Chicago in the loss went 6 innings and allowed 2 runs. So that kind of tells you right there. If there's a Mitchell ought to have full angle to all this, the optimism can be that, hey, even this season, after these mechanical adjustments, after he's been kind of dealing with this on and off throughout the start of this year, against a lineup like the Cubs, I don't want to see PCA again, not even in the playoffs. Even against the Cubs, he was able to go out there and be effective. He gave up 2 runs on 6 innings, but then before that, against the Phillies, he went just 2 innings because of the rain. He wasn't able to get a grip on the mound with his cleat. So it's kind of one of those things where things just pile up and the concern level grows, just because if he can't go and you throw him out there, then you start to get behind and you compromise the bullpen. And then you're looking at spot starters and bullpen days and things like that. When Tyler Glasnow, he's paid like an ace. When you pay a guy like an ace, you expect him to perform and produce like an ace. And even if that's not a sub-3 ERA, you're at least hoping for 5 or 6 innings every time he goes out there on the mound. But here was Dave Roberts talking about Tyler Glasnow's injury and everything we know right now.
Long-term concern, probably not. I think short-term, just trying to find some consistency on, obviously, availability, how he's feeling mechanically, physically, whatever it might be. There's concern there. What happens in the coming days, I don't know right now. I think in the next couple days, we'll have some more answers to kind of see where we go short term. But, we're all frustrated. Potentially. I mean, he's had a lot of imaging, but if there's more imaging, I'm not sure. I'll let the training staff and the doctors handle that.
So you can hear it. He even said it right there. It's frustrating for all of us. And it has to be the most frustrating for Tyler Glasnow himself. He said that he's obsessed. He said after the game, I'm obsessed with trying to figure out what's going on. I'm trying to find a way to stay healthy. I'll do whatever. I just don't really have an answer right now. And that's the most frustrating thing. It's not like a lack of trying. I feel bad for my teammates. I feel bad for people watching. It's a very frustrating situation for me. So you can hear right now, it almost feels like he's letting down not only himself, but his teammates, the fans. Everyone knows the kind of contract that he signed. Everyone knows the kind of potential that he has. And I think that's what makes this painful, really. And like I said, hopefully this is nothing. Hopefully that, I wouldn't say it could be nothing at this point, but hopefully this could be minimal. And we'll see. Does he go back? My first question is, does Tyler go back to the mechanics that he was using last year before the change, and just to see, can you ride that out to possibly stay on the mound? Because the big reason, the impetus for the change was to take some stress on the elbow, when that has been kind of the focal point of the issues throughout the years, is the arm, the elbow. But now you got the shoulder involved. Well, he talked a little bit about that as well. Should he go back? He said that he really needs to stop thinking about the mechanics all the time. So when it comes to fully reverting back, it's going to be a thing where he has to mentally adjust once again. I'm sure that that's going to be a decision made by guys that are right up in the organization. We're talking about front office analytics, trainers. It's going to be collaborative. But right now you have to find out what's best for Tyler Glasnow, what's best for the team. And the most important thing is, how can you find a guy? See people down below in the comment section asking, is it because of his size? I'm sure it is. I'm sure the fact that he's a big dude. He's not your normal size for a pitcher. Tyler Glasnow is a giant. My man is 6'8". Dude probably could be playing center for the Lakers right now, and they need a big. But he could easily be impacted by his size. So that's definitely a factor as well. Now, as far as what does this mean for the Dodgers starting rotation? Well, tonight you got Dustin May, and then on Friday you have Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Dave Roberts already said that Tony Gonsolin is most likely going to start on Wednesday. I saw Tony in the Dodgers clubhouse. He looks like he's ready to go. So he'll be on the bump for the series finale against the Marlins, a day game on Wednesday, a gentleman's game on Wednesday. So you look at outside of that, they have not announced the starter for Tuesday. Who could that be? Well, guys on the 40-man roster, Justin Robleski, he started on Sunday. Landon Knack, he started Saturday. Nick Frasso, who hasn't even made his big league debut, he started on Friday. All those guys made starts for Oklahoma City. Bobby Miller, he pitched on Tuesday, and he technically is well rested enough to go up and make a start, but he was optioned on April 17th. So for him to come back and pitch at the big league level on anything less than 15 days, you would have to have someone go on the IL. So, or an injured player. So if they deem that Tyler Glasnow is injured and they want to throw him on that IL, then they could bring up Bobby Miller earlier and he could replace that injured pitcher. So he could do it in that event. Maybe that's the way they go. Another guy I've heard a lot of great things about, we saw him so far early this season, is Matt Sauer. Matt Sauer has been solid down there. He went 3 2/3 innings in his last bit of work. And then before that, he went 5 innings too. So I think Matt Sauer is a guy that could get a start. But if you look at Tuesday, tomorrow, that's where we've seen the 6th starter go in the rotation. And with Blake Snell down, with Tyler Glasnow most likely going to be down, you are going to have to see what they're going to do. A bullpen game, you want to avoid those as much as possible, but you're going to need to find your 6th starter. You're going to need to find your 6th starter just because Roki Sasaki and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, they're using them once a week. Tony Gonsolin's making his way back. You have guys that just aren't available right now, and then you also have a stretch of games coming up where you're playing 19 games in 20 days, and that starts this Thursday. So they have to do something. They have to do it quick, and we're going to talk about what they can do. That's coming up next on the Dodgers Nation Rewind of the Week. Our 10 big takeaways. That's coming up next. We're going to talk about that here on Dodgers Dugout Live. What up, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here to remind you that if you have not yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Dugout Live podcast. You can find it wherever you get your podcast. So if you want to listen to the show in audio form, when you're driving to Dodgers Stadium, when you're driving from Dodgers Stadium, when you're commuting to work, wherever it is, you definitely want to lock into the podcast. We're going to start featuring some podcast exclusives, interviews. So definitely, even if you do watch the show daily on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Dugout Live podcast wherever your podcast. So be sure to do that. It really supports the channel. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What's up, Dodgers Nation? J-Rod here, and I'm hyped to announce our brand new series coming to the platform, the Dodger Fan Cave series. In this series, we'll be looking across the country for the best Dodger fan caves that you all have to offer. I don't care how big, how small. I don't care if it's a bedroom, a bathroom, a basement, even a small shrine in your office. If it's about the Dodgers, we want to see it. Every week, we'll be taking your submissions, putting them in a competition-style vlog, and selecting a winner. That lucky winner will not only get a Dodgers Nation certified fan cave certificate, but you'll also be featured on the Dodgers Nation platform, specifically YouTube, and maybe on your favorite live show. Shout out to Dodgers Dugout. If you want to be a part of this, all I need from you is 5 to 8 submissions via WeTransfer. I need 5 to 8 4K submissions photos, videos, and if you can give me a small story about your shrine, maybe a special item in there, maybe something that has some sort of sentimental value, or even something crazy that most Dodgers fans haven't seen before. We really want to see that Dodger pride shine in this series. I want to see those jerseys, bobbleheads, big murals, paintings, whatever it is. Send those submissions to Dodgers Nation and make sure you get them to me through WeTransfer, and maybe you'll be featured on an episode soon. Peace.
And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and show on YouTube. Also, another reminder, in case you can't make it to Japanese Heritage Night, we have not one but two Dodgers bobbleheads that just released. The first is Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman Blast Off bobblehead that features both superstars on literal rockets. If you look closely, Freddie is also carefully protecting LA's 2024 World Series trophy. There are only 144 of these available for purchase. The second is a Shohei Ohtani, Roki Sasaki, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto triple bobblehead set. It's still surreal to think that all three of these guys reunited on the Dodgers, and they'll be in the rotation all together pretty soon, over the next couple months. And there's only 125 of these available, so be sure you cop these fast. Links to all these, you can find them up in our YouTube live chat along with our description, so do not miss out on these bobbleheads. These are really, really awesome. Okay, some super chats to get into. Leon J, what up? $5, trying to avoid arm surgery is why Sasaki isn't throwing 100 miles per hour anymore. Got some thoughts on Sasaki in a second here. Talk about his new toilet for the Dodgers clubhouse. We'll talk about that. Then $2 from Radius D. Have you seen the Japanese toilets in the clubhouse? There you go. I'll give you my thoughts, one, on those, and two, my own experience with Japanese toilets from Tokyo just a few weeks ago. But guys, it's Monday. You know what that means? Dodgers Rewind. 10 big takeaways on the week that was in Dodger baseball.
Dodgers Rewind. 10 big takeaways.
So my first big takeaway is Andy Pages has turned the Pages. He has absolutely solidified himself to this point as someone that deserves to be on this team, playing in the outfield, whether it be in center field, whether it be in one of the corners, where there is this myth out there about Andy Pages that he's this bad defender. And hey, go tell it to Roki Sasaki, who owes Pages a couple really expensive bottles of sake after all the home run saving catches he's made for him during his starts this season. And yes, he's made some tough reads at times. He hasn't been perfect. Not going to second in the game against the Cubs when you're trying to hit the cutoff man, that run ultimately scores. He goes to third. Yeah, those are young player mistakes that he's made. You got to hit the cutoff man. You got to make sure you're making the right plays in those situations. But all in all, he's grading out as an above average defender. He is 1 ounce above average, 80th percentile in range, 82nd percentile in arm value, 96 percentile in arm strength. He's also an above average runner. A lot of tools for Mr. Andy Pages. And it was announced just now that he won National League Player of the Week. National League Player of the Week for Andy Pages. Hotter than the devil's armpit for the Dodgers this week. Heading into this week, Andy Pages was struggling. Heading into this week, it looked like Andy Pages was not going to be a part of this team after the All-Star break, right? That was kind of the Andy Pages take. Everyone was regurgitating. Bring up Hesson Kim. Trade for Luis Robert Jr., right? Let's not give Andy Pages the 150 plate appearances that they had said was the measuring stick for him. Heading into this week, Andy Pages had a 544 OPS. He had 10 hits, 3 extra base hits this week. Heading into this week, a 544 OPS, 10 hits, he had 3 extra base hits and 5 RBIs all season. 10 hits all season, 544 OPS heading into this week. This week alone, Andy Pages, 13 hits, 3 home runs, 3 doubles. He had 6 RBIs in 5 games this week. He increased that OPS from 544 to 861 in 5 games. So this is a reminder that not only do you have to kind of not rush to judgment for young players? But when you're this early in the season, if you're struggling and you have a really good week, you can double your stats, it almost feels like. You can really, really have a big impact on your numbers if you do have a really, really big week. And now he's up to a 143 weighted runs created plus. So he's been 43% above league average offensively. His WRC plus is higher than Tommy Edmonds and Mookie Betts's so far this season. This week against Pittsburgh, he had 10 hits against Pittsburgh, 6 extra base hits. He was incredible. He was absolutely incredible. And there was a story that Andy Pages recently sat down with Dodgers president of baseball operations, Andrew Friedman, and Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. And they both told him, relax, just relax. Go out there and play. Go out there and play. And all things have turned around for him. He's absolutely starting to click at the plate. You see, this is a guy that should be able to help this team. He can hit for power. He's got on the season in 93 plate appearances, 5 home runs. Ha-Seong Kim might not hit 5 home runs for an entire season. Yes, Ha-Seong Kim was like the backup quarterback that you want to see, but just speaking to scouts, like there's no comparison to what Andy Pages has the potential to do at the plate for Ha-Seong Kim. Like they're not even like comparable to what their potential could be. So that's why you have to trust the process with young players. You got to allow them a chance to grow. And I think what really impresses me about this run for Andy Pages this season is last year when he got called up, he was on fire. He got off to a hot start. And then he cooled off. Then he started to slump. Then he was gone, and then he was back after the September call-ups. This time I'm impressed because he started slow, started cold, and then made adjustments, started to relax, started to be more aggressive, and now he's the hitter that he is. Dave Roberts talked about this all the time. Just be who you are, right? You don't have to go out there and try to take long at-bats and see as many pitches as you can take just to prove that you're this better hitter that can work 3-2 counts and draw your walks. No, you don't need that from Andy Pages. Go out there, look for a pitch in a zone. When you see it, drive it, and that's what he's been doing. And that's why you're seeing him not just go out there and slug, but he's also hitting singles. He's impacting the game defensively. And I think it's a great story, man. Andy Pages is here to stay. And that doesn't mean that you don't have to consider a trade to shore up center field. And Luis Robert Jr. has had a bad season so far. So not necessarily saying that has to be the case. But I think at this point with his bat, you're basically locking him to left field. And then center field, you can see if he improves there. But hey, I'm all in on Andy Pages because look, all these guys that we talk about that are struggling, right? It's everyone loves doing that, right? Here, this is the Dodgers kind of like social media cycle. Player struggles. Everyone posts his stats. This is what he's hit in the last 50 at bats, 3 for his last 50, no home runs, this and that. Then players back, and then it starts all over again. That is just baseball. You're going to go through your slumps, but I think with Andy Pages, the big difference is he's making $700,000 this year. He is not getting 15 to 17 to 20, 30, 40. He's not getting Conforto's 17 million. So to get this production from a player like this, it's what this Dodgers team has to do because you haven't seen a lot of homegrown position players developed and have had success. And James Albin is actually going off down in AAA. You love to see that. Alex Freeland's having a great year. But you need to see more homegrown talent unless you want to see this team fall off a cliff like the 2016 Chicago Cubs, right? You need homegrown guys. It only helps you. And sometimes in these situations, you go through the slumps with Pages just so he can produce like he is now. And that way, either you have a guy that's going to be a player for you or you have a guy that you can trade, right? So you have to develop. The D in Dodgers has always stood for developed. Well, now it stands for deferred. But, I mean, that's kind of what we're at with Andy Pages. So I love seeing that. Now, next big takeaway is about a big-time friend of the show. Big-time friend of the show. That is Ben Casparius. So how about Benny C looking like a potential starter in this rotation? Ben Casparius has done everything to help this team that he's needed to do to solidify a role. And you've seen him in 2 bulk outings so far. One was planned. The other one, he comes in and he delivers in the absence of Tyler Glasnow. So yesterday, after Glasnow was only able to go 1 inning, Ben Casparius comes in and he was lights out. He was great. He went 3 2/3 innings, had 5 strikeouts, gave up 2 hits through 54 pitches. And I think that yesterday felt like an audition to get stretched out and become a bigger part of either the bullpen as far as his pecking order in it, or get stretched out to get some starts in the rotation. So here was Dave Roberts talking about the possibility of Ben Casparius and just kind of what's impressed him so far with him this season.
That's certainly a possibility. We got to get him to a place where he feels that when he takes the mound, he can go out there and, be the guy that he's capable of being. And, until we get to that point, I think that the IL is certainly a conversation. Yeah. It's just with Tyler, it's hard because, the not feeling good, the past injuries.
So you hear right there is that with Ben Casparius, it's about, hey, he's ready to go right now, and we're on the upward trajectory with him, and he's someone that was pumping 98 yesterday. Here's Doc up more on Ben Casparius.
Yeah, it's a thought. It's a thought. He gave us 4 innings today. He's unflappable. He flooded the strike zone, and he saved our tails today. Our bullpen's in a great spot going into this next series. And the bullpen's just done a fantastic job this year. I can't say enough about what they've done. And to take the ball in the 2nd inning and have to go 4 innings, it's pretty remarkable. So what Ben's done, what all those guys have done is fantastic. Well, I think right now.
So that's definitely encouraging stuff to hear from Dave Roberts. And hey, not going to be a victory lap guy. I'm not going to toot my horn just yet because it's a long season. But Ben Casparius has my breakout star for the Dodgers because of the way this stuff was playing, how he's improved this offseason. And you got to give a guy credit for going out there and just committing to a role. And I talked to Ben during spring training, and he told me, like, I'm a starter, man. Like, I came up as a starter. I'm built as a starter. I'm confident as a starter. I want to make my money and make my role in this league as a starting pitcher. But to be a part of this team and go after a World Series with this guy, this group, and these guys, I'm willing to come out of the pen. But this guy has a starter's mindset, and he thinks he can make this league doing just that. And outside of that one clunker there, he's been great. I mean, he was the first pitcher that they used in the planned bullpen game on Wednesday. He got the first 8 outs without allowing the run. And then you saw again yesterday what he's able to do when he's right. And so far in the season, 21 2/3 innings, a 2.91 ERA, 23 strikeouts. The expected stuff is good. A 2.42 expected ERA, a 27.1% strikeout rate. So, look, they don't need to rush Ben Casparius as a starter yet because you've got May, you've got the day off on Thursday. Dustin May could go again on Sunday. That'll give him 5 days rest if Glasnow is going to need to miss some time. But next Monday in Miami, I want to see Ben Casparius on the mound for Los Angeles Dodgers. Ben Casparius has the stuff. He's got the moxie. He's already built up to over 50 pitches. Give me Ben Casparius as a starting pitcher for the Dodgers. Now, next big takeaway, we got to talk about Roki Sasaki. Now, Roki Sasaki has continued to get better. I thought his last start, you saw just him get more comfortable. He threw a career-high 93 pitches, allowed 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 walks in 4 2/3 innings. If you look at the strikeouts, had 4. He's trying to get the strikeouts up. He did say after the game that he's trying to get the velocity up, and you're going to see that as the season progresses. He said, my delivery feels pretty in sync, and even the pitches I don't really necessarily command, I feel pretty good about. As long as I get my velocity up a little bit, I think I'll be able to pitch the way I want to. So he knows he has to get his velocity up. He's averaging over 96, but he wants to be at triple digits. He knows to be the best pitcher on the planet that he expects himself to be, that's going to require him to go up in velocity. But the reason why the velocity is down, I've talked about it on this show, is he's sacrificing some velocity to throw more strikes, to stay in the zone. The velocity is coming. But the real interesting thing about Roki Sasaki is we learned over the weekend that Roki Sasaki, one of the big deal breakers for Roki Sasaki, and one of the reasons why he ended up signing with this team was the toilet situation. Roki Sasaki made it known to the Dodgers organization that a Japanese installed toilet would go a long way in their recruiting efforts. It definitely, I think, put them over the top. And he said, during our first meeting with Roki, this is from Stan Kastic, during our first meeting with Roki, we were telling him about the project we had ongoing to upgrade our clubhouse and facilities. This is Dodgers president CEO Stan Kasten. And Stan said, I was telling him about all the amenities we were adding. We were going to have this, that, and that, and all this stuff. And he said, are you going to have Japanese-style toilets? And Roki said later, hey, this is it was a good idea. And he clearly made it known that he wanted to have those Japanese-style toilets. And then Stan Kasten said, done, you got it. So Roki wanted these Japanese-style toilets. The organization said, we'll install those. They did that, and he's a Dodger. So I can tell you from being in Japan a few months ago that Japanese toilets should just be a human right of ours at this point. And I will say that what I didn't have the guts to go with the full bidet action there. I didn't have the guts to do just that. But I'm telling you, the Japanese-style toilets should be standard. I just got back in kind of the thing that I thought was like, man, this is so nice because of the heat. You guys know when it's like cold, you go in the toilet seat and it's like super cold? Never. You got the heat. Also, if you're in the public space, you've got noises and sounds that they make so you don't disturb other people. I will say one thing I did, I accidentally hit the scent spray button and it got kind of weird for a second. But I totally see why. This is a great move by the Dodgers to say, hey, what do you want, man? You want money? You want a separate locker? I mean, what it is you want? The Dodgers are willing to do things more than just give guys money to get them in a Dodgers uniform. And hey, I guarantee you there's not one person in that Dodgers clubhouse that's saying like, man, I wish we had the American toilets back. The Japanese toilets are next level. Let me know down below. Have you guys ever tried it? The heated, it's so comfortable because there's like live on one. We got some comments down below. By the way, but just be careful though. I didn't hit the bidet thing, or did I? We got 80 says I heard Kike Hernandez loves it. Matt Leiter, I hear the toilet sake is great this time of year. D-Mac, be careful with those bidets for Mr. Classic.
Yeah, comments are getting a little crazy.
No more dingleberries for D-Mac. We got Moai. Nando 39 says, Japan living in the future. My butt cheeks stay cold. Okay, Nando, I'm going to give you a bro because you deserve that. Bruh. As always. DB, has he ever sat on a throne? Okay, this is getting crazy.
It's getting a little weird in there, Doug.
It's getting pretty crazy. I like it. That's what we do here, guys. We give you a voice to talk about things other than just baseball. But let me know down below in the comment section. Okay, Ken, you need to chill. Okay, so next big takeaway. Renee Padilla says, I went to the Tokyo series and can confirm the toilets are a game changer for sure. A human right? Yeah, I think so. I really do. I think they're that good. They're that good. The heating function, I'm telling you, in some public toilets there, you have a button that will turn on sounds like water flowing, and then you don't have to hear the people next to you. It's pretty freaking awesome, dude. Not gonna lie. Okay, so let's continue on here, and let's talk about Tony Gonsolin. So Tony Gonsolin, he's set to return on Wednesday. He's supposed to be activated for his first start of the season, and I think the conversation is, do the Dodgers have to go out there and make a trade at any point for their starting rotation? And the fact that it's already April and your $182 million pitcher, Blake Snell, is dealing with the shoulder issue. Your $136 million Tyler Glasnow is dealing with an issue. Those are two of your top guys. Yoshinobu Yamamoto's pitching at a Cy Young level. He missed almost 3 months last season due to a rotator cuff shoulder issue. Roki Sasaki is a rookie. Clayton Kershaw is coming back in year 18 off a toe and knee surgery. Shohei Ohtani is coming back after his second major arm surgery. Dustin May is back after flexor tendon repair. Tony Gonsolin's back after Tommy John. Is there anyone out there that truly believes that this rotation is going to fully be intact? I think that's a tough call. And there's guys down at the AAA level that can certainly help you. But I do believe that if you do have to miss Tyler Glasnow or Blake Snell for a significant amount of time, or there's anything season ending with a couple of their guys, that the Dodgers, even though they don't want to be, and they jokingly said that, hey, maybe we could be sellers at the deadline. Come on. That's not how it works. When you are the Dodgers, and this is why it always feels like the Dodgers suffer more injuries than any other team. The reason is the Dodgers realize that to win in October, to have the most success, you got to get the pitchers with the best stuff. The pitchers with the best stuff, they throw the hardest, they throw with more spin. That leads to more injuries. Now, I think one thing you could see is there is a kind of growing trend to kind of to change arm angles and that kind of reducing injuries. And that's something that they're studying. I'm definitely pretty sure that the Dodgers have looked into this as well. But this season, you kind of have to go with what you have. Now, Sandy Alcantara has a very team-friendly contract. He's someone that has already kind of looked like he's not 100% kind of where he was. But you look at where Sandy Alcantara is, and it really makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, will the Miami Marlins look to trade him at some point? Because he hasn't looked great so far. He really has not. He hasn't looked like, okay, this is the all-world Cy Young level. But he is making progress. On Wednesday, his last start, he went 6 innings, gave up 3 earned runs. But this month, he has a 7.23 ERA and 18 2/3 innings of work. On the year, the numbers don't look great. So I do think, though, I really do think that the Dodgers are going to do whatever it takes to try to win another title this season. Just because of the primes of Mookie and Freddie and Shohei, I'd be shocked if they weren't all in on starting pitching. I still believe that's going to be the case. This Dodgers team, they realize what they have. And yes, they have tons of guys, and you have Shohei coming back. You have Clayton Kershaw coming back. But if you lose, I would say the number is 2. If you lose 2 of them, then I think they're active at the trade market. Anything less, I think they kind of roll what they have. Hope that Yamamoto pitches like a Cy Young. Hope that Roki develops. Hope that Shohei comes back. But hey, hope is hell of a drug, right? And you can't really hope for things when it comes to starting pitchers as far as health. It is the most volatile position in sports right now when it comes to that guy being very significant to winning and losing, but also that guy dealing with injuries. So that's going to be a major question. I mean, Blake Snell, that's in flux. Glasnow in flux. I mean, there's just so many questions about this rotation. Okay, a couple more takeaways and we'll get to the 7th inning stretch. This one is one that we'll monitor, but it is the Giants could be a bigger threat than the Padres and the Diamondbacks in the National League West. I don't know if you guys saw the Giants this past week. They were really good. They went 5-2. The NL West teams outside of the Giants last week went 10-20. So they go 10-20. The Giants go 5-2. And I mean, you look at the 5 wins for the National League West as a whole. I mean, that's going to be a competitive division. And I think that we know that San Francisco has new leadership there with Buster Posey taking over for Farhan. You got Chapman, you got Adames, you got some pieces for sure, but that I think is going to be good for the Dodgers all season long. I mean, you look at the National League where it sits right now. The Dodgers are half game back from the Giants. The Giants at 19-10, the Dodgers at 18-10, Padres at 17-11, and the Diamondbacks at 15-13. It is the best division in baseball. And these teams are going to push each other all season long. And it's not just going to be the Padres. It's not just going to be the Diamondbacks. Also going to be the Giants. By the way, did you guys see, you guys saw the Logan Webb thing, right? The Logan Webb where his teammate farted. Did you guys ever say who it was that farted? By the way, does SF stand for someone farted? Because I think that's what it was there. Did you get a chance to see that, Noel? With Logan Webb?
I did not. You got to tell me more about it.
Oh my God. So Logan Webb was doing an interview in the clubhouse, and all of a sudden it was and one of his teammates farted.
Oh, man.
And he started cracking up, and he was trying to be serious. Then he said, "Hey, farts are always funny." So I think that's true. I really do. But yeah, I don't know if SF stands for someone farted, but let us know down below which San Francisco Giant do you think was the one that did that for sure. But Big Joe Smash says, D-Mac, can I get a bruh? My cousin said hire Barry Bonds as a hitting coach. Bruh. Hey, man. Barry Bonds does have, I will say, one of my favorite piece of hitting advice that I've heard, Barry Bonds has a good one, where Barry Bonds used to say that the way he would approach hitting, outside of like doing steroids, but even before that, even before steroids, Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer and one of the best hitters ever. Okay, I don't care if you're a Dodgers fan, that's a fact. All right. He was putting up Shohei Ohtani offensive numbers before the roids. Do you guys want facts or do you want me to be biased? I'll give you the facts. How about that? That's why I tuned into the show, right? But one thing Barry Bonds would just say is that there's pitchers out there throwing 100 miles per hour, right? And the catcher just catches it easily and nicely and is not afraid of it. So Barry Bonds said, hey, I'm going to catch the 100-mile-per-hour fastball, but I'm just going to do it with my bat instead of a glove. And that was his advice for catching up to velocity. But yeah, I'll give you the bro, though. So next coming up, though, let's go to the 7th inning stretch, guys. Drop all your takes, all your questions about your boys in blue. And that's coming up next here on the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
We got Joe Megazzeni, Shohei Ohtani. Is he out of his slump? Is he starting to feel the dad strength? Hey, it was a much better week for Shohei. At one point, it really was looking like, hey, man, where the heck is Shohei Ohtani and what have you done with him? But he had a 2-for-16 slump at one point, but he ended up just kind of going crazy in that Pirates series. You had all the extra base hits. Shohei ends up going 7-for-22 on the week, hitting .318. So if you're worried about Shohei Ohtani, you just probably shouldn't. He had a big day on Saturday, followed up with a big game on Sunday. He's the first Dodger to have 2 doubles and a triple in a game since, wait for it, Juan Pierre back on May 29, 2007. So you got to love that. He's also just the 6th Dodger player ever at Dodger Stadium with 2 doubles and a triple. First time since Will Venable back in 2010. So, yeah, I mean, there's only been one other player in the history of the franchise that has had a 2-double triple game at Dodger Stadium as a Dodger. That was Wes Parker back on May 24, 1964. So, yeah, even when Shohei's bad, he's like good. It's like being the poorest billionaire, right? He's always balling, even when he's not. So, very encouraged to see that. They got 4-seater 777. Random question. Jock is having a horrific start of the season. If we could trade for him, he could get his groove back with a homecoming return, maybe lose a few burritos in his mass. Jock is streaky. Yeah, I mean, Jock is streaky for sure. I mean, I think for the Dodgers, they definitely have probably gotten past that, the Jock Peterson possibility. I haven't really been floating that idea for a couple years now. Then you'd also be talking about a trade within the division. Jock Peterson actually had his best year as a pro last season. So if I'm the Diamondbacks, I'm not trading Jock Peterson for the reason that you just mentioned, and that is that he has already had a good career with the Diamondbacks in that one season. And also, too, the biggest thing is, look, man, where is he playing? He's playing DH. All right. Hey, it's either DH or pinch hitter, right? You're not going to throw him back in left fielder. So don't think there's any chance that Jock Peterson's back with the Dodgers. Rene Padilla, the headlines in August are going to be the Dodgers starting rotation has the lowest ERA over the last 2 months, and Muncy is going to have 15 home runs. It's a fun segment. Future Dodger headlines. A lot can change very quickly. I think if the Dodgers rotation stays healthy, 100% they're going to be up there with the best in the league. Right now it's tough to kind of talk about that though, just because two of their main horses are down. We've got Paul Gutierrez. Jock was the MVP against the Astros. I still think Clayton Kershaw would have been the MVP, even though Jock had a really good series, because Jock, some of those home runs, I mean, the one he hit in Game 6 was big, but if Clayton Kershaw had put that second quality start in Game 5 and they win in a short series, he would have had big starts in Game 1 and Game 5. I think that considering the narrative, I think they would have gone with Kersh because he was great in Game 1. He was great until they started cheating in Game 5. So I think that I have this debate with friends, so I'm not saying that you're 100% wrong or anything like that. But I still think Kersh would end up with the World Series MVP. I mean, I really, really do. We can maybe debate that in another topic too if you want. JM DMAC, can we address the Muncy hate? I still believe, but where the numbers have him, I'm always for keeping the guys who have been around for a long time. So kind of a snapshot of Max Muncy's, the numbers, look away from your screen if I'm going to show them, right? If I'm going to say anything, it's they're not pretty. They're just not. I mean, he is a guy that is 41% below league average offensively. He's taking more walks of late. He hasn't hit a home run this season in 96 plate appearances. That's the longest drought of his career. The defense for Max Muncy, I think, is more concerning, though, than the offense, if I'm being quite frank about it. He's in the 6th percentile and outs above average at third. I still think when you look at his hard hit rate, it's above average, 70th percentile. The barrel percentages above average. Expected stuff, low. But I do think that he's going to get on a streak where he hits some home runs. But I think that's the thing with Max Muncy is if you're going to struggle, but throw in the occasional 2-run shot, throwing the occasional home run. Right now, he's doing none of that. So I am increasingly becoming concerned about Max Muncy. I still think that he does need a larger sample size and to see if he can get right. And he's had big slumps only to come out of them. The difference between this one, the slumps in the past, though, is we're seeing no bombs, no home runs. But did have some good at-bats over the weekend against the Pirates, some deep counts, like a 10-pitch walk, and he had a single. So, I mean, it wasn't all bad for Max Muncy. And the walk rate is at 13.5%, which is in the 86th percentile. So he's still getting on base with the walks, but you just need to see some more slug, you see some better defense. I will say Nolan Arenado did have a walk-off home run this weekend, so I'm not going to put fuel to the fire on that. But for those who always ask, there is your answer. Alex Renteria, nope, should have kept Flaherty and his durability. Yeah, look, Jack Flaherty is durable, but, I mean, he also had a back situation that led to the Yankees not paying him. I think that this offseason, if teams felt great about his health, they probably would have given him a bigger contract than the one he ultimately did sign, which was a 2-year, $35 million deal. And then he also has a player opt-out after the 2025 season. So, look, it would be funny. Wouldn't it be funny? Hey, trade back Jack Flaherty. Trade back for Jack Flaherty. Trade back for Walker Buehler. I mean, get the band back together, right? See if Kenley Jansen can pick up the phone. I mean, who knows? I mean, see if Kike's kind of turned around a little bit this weekend with a home run. But, I mean, Jack Flaherty, I'm still okay with him not making that signing. I think that they went with the upside play. It's still early. Let's see how this thing plays out. And then you also look at the standings. And right now, the Detroit Tigers are in first place in the American League Central. So they're probably going to win that division. It's going to be a nice, highly contested division, but I still think they want to keep. But Ray Soto, Casparius, Asparagus, Capri Sun, don't matter. Add them to the rotation. Okay, here's the comment of the show. Comment of the show from Ray Soto. Love that. Dea Dewan B. Every time I'm in Tokyo, I definitely make sure my Airbnb has that special Japanese Toto toilet. Yeah, absolutely. Bilal K. If I had something to say about it, I'd be on the phone with the White Sox for Luis Robert Jr. tonight. Move Paz to left field. Sit Conforto on the bench. Tell Edmonds second base. It is. Yeah, I mean, that's what I've laid out on this show, right? Is if you think that Paz is going to hit like this, it doesn't mean, the center field conversation's over. No, it means he's going to be a corner outfielder where he's going to be think about this. Pages could be an above average corner outfielder, an above average bat, getting paid $700,000 plus a year. That's great value. And it doesn't, but Pages in center field in the postseason scares me. I do not want to see that. I think they could shore up that defense a little more. And I'm in agreement with you, is Tommy Edman makes a lot more sense at second base. But Mookie Betts has been great defensively shortstop, by the way. It's the bat that hasn't been Mookie Betts-like. So, yeah, I love that take from Bilal K. Sean Klein, haters going to be mad when 2022 Gonzo shows up on the bump Wednesday. Hey, the Catman is back on the meow, and I'm all for it. And hopefully we do see that. Padres burner, Sasaki will need a toilet at Petco Park. Boo's going to scare him so bad. Okay. First of all, thanks for the ratings. By the way, the Dodgers, like I was saying, they need to add the Roki Sasaki bobblehead to the day that the Padres come to town. You already have the ring replica for that day, the World Series jersey. That way the Padres can see what it's like when a team wins a World Series. That's the closest the Padres are going to get to a World Series, is to be around the Dodgers replica World Series trophy giveaway. So, yeah, he's going to be just fine. And the only thing that is going to be crapping their pants is Padres batters in a couple years when Roki Sasaki is the best pitcher in baseball. DFLA watching during lunch break. I think bringing up guys for spot starts until Shohei and Kersh are ready will be enough to keep pace, then push for a good postseason seed. So far, the early returns on that plan haven't worked out. Robleski didn't pitch well. Bobby Miller didn't pitch well. Landon Knack was better, but still could pitch better. But I think you look at the division, how competitive it is. We'll see if those guys can come up and give quality. Because if you're going to come up like Bobby Miller, not go deeper into games, it puts your bullpen back. I think the first solution is stretching out Ben Casparius, but I do think you're going to see spot starts for sure. I wouldn't rule out seeing Jackson Ferris at some point this season. I think Jackson Ferris being in Tulsa with Kersh, I don't think that was by accident. I expect Jackson Ferris to possibly get a shot. We got Radius. Japanese toilets are amazing. Once you use one, it sucks going back to toilet paper. Yeah, I didn't go that far. Like I said, I accidentally pushed the send button, and that did something crazy down there. But yeah, 2 seasons. I don't know what's going on with Ohtani. He probably has an undisclosed injury. He just doesn't have the right stuff right now. Did you not watch the series against the Pirates? Shohei was hitting the ball hard. All the expected stuff is really good. Shohei Ohtani at the plate should be the least of your worries. He's going to go on a tear. Bilal K. Conforto's salary is down to $14.17 million now. Now the Dodgers will be smart to throw in $5 million to trade him in a prospect to the White Sox for Luis Robert Jr. I don't think the White Sox would look at Conforto as a big piece. It's mainly prospects that would have to be a part of that deal. But they could look for a third team, and there's another way they could move on from Conforto if they felt they were going to go that direction. And he could also be a bat off the bench too, but he's more valuable as an everyday starter. I'll definitely agree with that. Princess A, sorry, dumb question, but what does a gentleman's game mean on Wednesday? Interesting you caught that. They used to call the day games, the afternoon games during the week, the gentleman's game, because guys would basically ditch their job and go to a baseball game. The gentleman's game is definitely a thing. You're supposed to be at work, or you just kind of go to that afternoon game during the week. It's good times, man. It's a good time. I'll be there for sure. Tony Gonsolin's first start, but yeah, it's definitely where it's at. We got Jador Sanders traded to the Padres for a bag of chips for TJ Martinez. I love that. Hey, Deion wasn't wrong, man. He said he'd be a top 5 pick. He meant top 5 rounds though. Okay, but yeah, guys, coming up next, we got a really heartwarming story on the walk-off.
The walk-off.
So today on the walk-off, we've got a really cool story. A big fan of the show. Shout out to Alana. Big fan of Dodgers Dugout Live. We appreciate you out there. Well, her daughter gave Kike Hernandez a bracelet at his latest autograph signing, and it's kind of turned his season around. He was able to hit that big home run on Saturday night. Here was the moment. Check it out.
Center. What is your item? Right here.
Baseball.
Thank you very much. Can I have your ticket? What's your name? Next one, please. Alana. Can I have your ticket? Very much. I appreciate you.
So if it doesn't fit, you give Penelope.
Thanks, Kike. You're welcome. Thank you very much. I'm gonna wear it tomorrow for the game. Okay?
We gotta look for it. We gotta look for it. Okay.
So he gets the bracelet, hits the bomb. Hey, last year was the glasses for Kike. Maybe this year it's the bracelet. So awesome moment, guys. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Remember that nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.